Debbie. Good evening, everyone. As Kevin said, I would like to welcome you all to this year's honors banquet. This is an excellent opportunity to showcase our academic talents, and of course, it gives us yet another reason to have a day off in May. But more importantly, it allows us to look back on this year and our high school experience as a whole. As seniors, we look back on our 4 years and the times we've shared together. As it is widely known, our senior class came in as the largest testing class in Mount Carmel history, a record still unbroken today. Over 300 students came as freshmen 4 years ago. Today we have 192. This loss of over a third of our class is a testament to something we were told at our freshman orientation. Mount Carmel is not for everybody. It's for those who care to work and struggle at it. And we did. Our 192 classmates consist of some of the best and brightest, both academically and athletically. We have among us multiple Illinois State Scholars, 5 AP Scholars, a National Merit Scholar, 2 National History Fair finalists, a National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete Award winner, 3 Wallace Award winners, a 3-year Fight Night champion, the half-mile school record holder, and 4 future Division I athletes, along with many other future collegiate athletes. Looking at these students, it is safe to say the class of 2011 is one of the strongest classes to go through Mount Carmel. But aside from all of our accomplishments, what we will remember most from our high school are the experiences we shared together. From the first time we walked into the prayer ground freshman year up until tonight, our time here has been filled with interesting experiences. And over the years, we've learned that there are some things that can really only happen in Mount Carmel. Whether it be Doc Ock standing on a ladder in the middle of the student center during study hall freshman year, looking for the student making the bird noises, or everyone giving the freshman chant at every assembly, there's just a certain atmosphere at Carmel that allows for such memorable events to take place. Things such as Mr. Antonetti's jam speech at pep rallies, and his acute ability to describe your personality based on your favorite type of sandwich. Our AP World History class with Mr. Martin spent watching Monty Python movies and highlights from the Raiders seasons. Realizing that any generic question about Doc Berry's weekend could easily lead to a class-long discussion about his parenting techniques, or even better, the cherished Emily and Eli stories. That fateful day when Ron Pavlik put the glass tube just a little too close to the zinc in chemistry, blowing up the beaker in front of the shadow, and earning him the nickname Ronnie Boom Boom. And it's stuck to this day. Fighting out in baseball talks with Coach Nick, and just accidentally running out of any time to learn any real geometry that day. Sharing stories from our weekend with Mrs. Whitaker, after of course being addressed as Sweet Angel Boy or any other endearing term. Debates in AP US history with Mr. Emery that more often than not got out of hand. Relating Spider-Man to Catholic morals with Mr. Bizzotti. AP Calculus, which was more like a Comedy Central roast every day. Jim Easterhouse keeping a tally of how many times Mr. Haggerty shuts him down in his English class. Coach E's use of choice words when describing certain students, mainly Victor and Moran. And of course, staying frosty with Eddie on the announcements every morning. These are things that truly can only happen in Mount Carmel, and I'm sure they're memories that many of us cherish. One of my personal favorite memories involves a class many of us took our junior year. Now through our 4 years here, I'm sure we've all come to learn but there are a couple different classes here at Mount Carmel. There are the classes you hate, the classes you tolerate, the classes you enjoy, and then there's Mr. Hurster's AP English class. In one of the most unconventional classes we've ever had, Mr. Hurster taught us to look at things from a new perspective. He taught us that there's more to one side to every issue, and each one needs to be examined. His methods were unique, to say the least. Whether having classes just chatting about topics hardly related to what we were learning, or just sitting on the grass outside reading because it was just too nice of a day to be inside, he always kept things interesting. I'm sure many of us, except maybe Jake Edwards, would say that walking into that classroom was the highlight of our day. Because in all honesty, who wouldn't love a class where your homework was frequently to take a walk or climb a tree? Mr. Hurster represents everything Mount Carmel is about, and we wish him the best of luck as he moves on in the future. However, as much as our classes here were, the best things always happen outside of the classroom. For me, being involved in the plays here for 3 years was a great experience. What I quickly learned during my first play was that pretty much everyone joined the plays just so they could hang out with Mr. Taylor. The whole class would just sit and talk with him like he was another student before and after practice, and oftentimes during practice, so we would frequently miss our cues. The productions were a lot of fun thanks to Mr. Taylor, and I'm really glad I was a part of them. Some of my more interesting memories come from the swim team, of which I was a 4-year member. While we might not have been the best team around, I guarantee you we had the most fun. Even with myself being nicknamed Captain No Fun by my co-captain Connor McNamara, we always managed to spice up practice a bit with a quick game of sharks and minnows or goalie game. In February, my brother Jacko came up with the idea to use empty cardboard boxes to make boats and proceed to race them across the pool. What I thought was a ridiculous idea at the time turned into the annual Mount Carmel Cardboard Regatta, which was a resounding success and a highlight of the season. Not last, will live on. We were also able to witness our classmates lead the football team downstate. And although things did not go our way, it was still an incredible season. The Neuqua Valley playoff game was one of the most exciting sports games I've ever attended. With the win finally coming in overtime, all the fans rushed onto the field and celebrated with the players. There was a great school spirit at that game, and it's something I'll never forget. Now, although it may sound like our time here was filled with goofing around and a lack of learning, this is actually far from the truth. Whether we realize it or not, Mount Carmel has provided us with not only an education for our years in college, but also for the rest of our lives. While it is true that not everything we have learned will be useful, I'm sure none of us will ever need to know that the Aroostook War took place between American lumberjacks and Canadians over the border of Maine, or that the threshold of pain is a level of sound that the human ear can withstand, and also a great name for a band, according to Coach E. But the discipline required to do well in classes like physics and U.S. history will stick with us forever. These classes taught us that to succeed, you must apply yourself fully in whatever it is you do. And that is a skill we can use for the rest of our lives. But in my opinion, the most important thing Mount Carmel has instilled in us is the importance of character. Ever since our first day, we have been told that Mount Carmel builds character for a lifetime. And I think our time and experiences here have done just that. Just as the knowledge and skills we have learned have prepared us for success, the character instilled in us has prepared us to be a true man of Carmel for the rest of our lives. In closing, I'd like to recognize those who made my high school experience what it was. First off, I'd like to thank my classmates. For the past 4 years, we've grown to become an incredibly tight-knit class, which was always there to provide friendship and often a lot of entertainment. These past 4 years have been some of the best times of my life, and I thank you for that. I'd also like to thank all of the teachers. It takes a very special kind to teach in an all-boys high school, and your love of the school and of the subjects you teach clearly shines through. I know that I am more than prepared to tackle any college course or challenge in life thanks to you. I'd also like to extend a very special thank you to Father Carr, who for the past 15 years has provided an excellent source of leadership both as president and principal of our school. Even with all of his duties and responsibilities, he was still able to call every student in the school by name, and he was a great friend to all of us. His constant devotion to Mount Carmel and the values it stands for has left an indelible mark on the school, and we wish him well in the future. But most of all, I'd like to thank my family. I'm the product of one of the most loving and happy households I know. Without my family's constant support, there's no doubt I would not be standing up here today. First off, I'd like to thank my grandma. Even though she has 29 grandchildren, she still finds the time to go to every baptism, communion, confirmation, graduation, birthday party, and any other event honoring those grandchildren. So thank you for coming, Gary. I'd also like to thank my Aunt Karen and Uncle Ed for being here tonight. They've come to every important event in my life, from baptism up until tonight. And my Aunt Karen has served as my personal photographer at all of those events. So Karen and Ed, thank you for always being there for me. My sister Tricia has had to deal with me the most the past few years, so thank you for your endurance. Even as they were away at school, my sister Julie and brother Brendan were continuous sources of support and admiration. So I thank them for that. They even flew from across the country just so they could be here tonight. And guys, I really appreciate you going out of your way to attend. My brother Jeff and I have been best friends for 17 years now, and I can always count on him to lighten any mood with a witty comment or corny joke. His humor helped me relax and refocus on what was important in life, just spending time with your family and those close to you. So Jack, thanks for that. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents. I've been blessed with two of the most loving, dedicated, supportive people I know as my parents. Raising 5 kids, they've made tremendous sacrifices to give us the best opportunities we could have. They always taught us to treat others with respect, no matter what the situation. And they've instilled in us a strong sense of morals and family values. They have always been our biggest fans, coming to every swim meet or water polo game, no no matter how far away it was or how painful it was to watch. Above all else, no matter what happens, I know that at the end of the day, they will be there for me. Everything I've accomplished, I've done because of them. And Mom and Dad, I never thank you enough for that. I know I speak for all 5 of us when I say that you're honestly the best parents a kid could ask for. I love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you. Before I go, I'd like to sum up our high school experience with a quote by Doc Eric. On a day that was just not going his way, Doc once jokingly said, "You come to Carmel as a boy, and you leave as a friggin' idiot." Now this quote is a little out of context, but the meaning behind it holds true. We came to Carmel as boys, we grew as people, and we made lasting friendships along the way. It's because of these friendships that we leave as friggin' idiots. Because in reality, who doesn't act like a friggin' idiot when you're with 191 of your best friends? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Doc.
My name is Kevin Kozlis, and I would like to welcome you all to the Mount Carmel Honors Banquet. I'm honored to stand before all of you as salutatorian of Mount Carmel's class of 2011. To begin, I'd like to bring your attention to the top GPAs of our senior class, as listed in the booklet, in order to display how each of us are so close with one another. Even more remarkable is the fact that each of the members in the top 5 has at one point been ranked number 1 in our class. This includes Brendan Rooney, who will be attending Notre Dame, Nicholas Salmon, who will be attending Cal Berkeley, and Victor Salmon, who will be attending Washington University. All 3 are extremely intelligent young men, and I would like to thank all of you for pushing me to strive well in the classroom at a high academic level. I know that these 3 young men, along with our fellow classmates, will continue to achieve at a high level. There is no such thing as a self-made man. You reach your goals only with the help of others. I feel there's no truer statement that applies to each one of our lives. In particular, so many people have helped me achieve the academic, athletic, and overall success I've experienced throughout my life, and I will forever be grateful for this. The main contribution, of course, was from my parents, but just as important was the help I received from my extended family, teachers, coaches, and random people I've met through my everyday life. For as long as I can remember, my parents have guided me in the right direction. They taught me proper morals and ethics, teaching me to treat others as I'd like to be treated. My parents never put stress on me or pushed me to do things I was not interested in. Yet, they were 100% supportive of everything I did. From observing their total efforts to provide for our family, I learned what it takes to work for something you want. Even more important with this was that my parents taught me that not everyone is given the same gifts and talents from God. I learned from them that I should be appreciative of my gifts and use them to help other people, and never brag or showboat. My parents molded me to the person I am today, and I'll never be able to repay them for all they've done and the hours they put into caring for me. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you both so much, and me standing up here is a direct result of everything you do for me. I was not only blessed with 2 loving parents who cared about my well-being, but also a full extended family. Combined between my 2 parents, I have a total of 20 aunts and uncles, with too many cousins to even count. Each and every one of my relatives has impacted me in some way. I'll never forget the awesome family parties, nor will I ever stop looking forward to the next one. It was always an honor when my family would take the time on their days to come watch me compete, give me advice, or just to talk. Knowing so many people were there to support me was tremendous, and I'm truly thankful for that. To individually thank all of my former coaches, teachers, and family members would take hours and hours. I've played football for 4 years, track for 2, baseball for 1, and basketball for 1. Add on to that the above-mentioned relatives, and the list would alone be pages one. With that in mind, I'll spare everyone the agony and just thank one coach who also happens to be my cousin. His name is Sean Jacob. He was my basketball coach for 2 seasons in grammar school, continues to coach me on the fundamentals of life, and is the best cousin anyone could ask for. I know besides my parents, he has shaped me into the man I am today. He not only taught me the fundamentals of basketball, but also how to conduct myself in life. He has been supportive of me even when I chose Mount Carmel over his high school. He scheduled shadow days for me at top laboratories in the country, allowed me to meet doctors from the most prominent medical schools, given me books to read about life, checked in on how things were doing every week through high school, invited me out for workouts and dinner, and many other countless caring deeds. I'm so blessed to have such a wonderful cousin, and I know there's someone I can always turn to for advice that is only a text or a call away. Without my cousin, I could not be the student athlete I am today. Thank you for making an effort to be a part of my life. Coming down to Mount Carmel was one of the biggest decisions I ever made. There were so many quality high schools in my neighborhood, it was near impossible to choose. In the end, with the efforts of Coach Seagross and many others, I decided to take the test at Mount Carmel High School. I was nervous to say the least, entering school in the fall. I did not know what class would be like. The very first day, I was in the classroom sitting by a window. All of a sudden, I noticed a grasshopper was on the ground near my foot. I soon began to focus my attention on the grasshopper, more than the teacher, as any freshman would. The next thing I knew, Mr. Ruby turned to me and asked me what was so fascinating. I went on to inform him that a grasshopper was in the classroom, and this was very different to me. Mr. Ruby went on to inform me that around Mount Carmel, things are a little different. I found that in all aspects of the school, he clearly knew what he was talking about, and I have continuously experienced at Mount Carmel is different than anywhere else. Through my years at Mount Carmel, it has its ups and downs, just as could be said about almost all areas of life. Many people ask me what's so different about Mount Carmel. Is it true they build character for a lifetime, or turn boys into men? I think it varies on a person-to-person basis. But I know one thing every student can agree on is the teachers and coaches at Mount Carmel love what they do and put an effort into the school unlike any other throughout the country. Although I've been only in honors classes and theology ACB classes, I've been able to meet just about every teacher or faculty member throughout the school. Even if I have not worked directly with a certain member of the faculty, it is evident just from observing that they put in so much effort to ensure the students' high school experience at Mount Carmel is worth the journey from 6410 South Dante. To define a caravan, one would find that it is a group of people traveling together to accomplish a common goal. Their overall goal walking through the doors of Mount Carmel was to graduate in the class of 2011. With record-breaking entry exam in 2007, we started with over 300 students in our freshman class. Now, being at 192 students, it is clear that those who stayed became champions. Making the journey to school every morning was not always easy. Waking up at 4:30 in the morning for football workouts was at many times difficult, but the brotherhood and support among teammates was immense. One teammate in particular was Ron Padley. He never missed a workout and was traveling the farthest distance out of any student athlete, all the way from Chesterton, Indiana. Yet, he loved being a part of the team and drew off the support of other teammates who made an effort to make it to every workout. Ron overcoming adversity was a true testament to his commitment to the school and the football program. Many individuals I know overcame adversity to graduate from Mount Carmel, exhibit the same drive and determination as Ron to make the extra effort to achieve greatness. Through this community of students that strove to overcome the obstacles in order to stay, I have developed some of the best friendships from students of all walks of life. This was made possible through the direct contact with many students in my honors classes, but also through my involvement in many sports teams and other school functions. I met new students from my own neighborhood, the far south suburbs, guys from Indiana, students from the east side, people from Homewood, inner city students, north siders, and people from the western suburbs of the city. Walking down the senior hall, there was hardly a kid who would not smile and say what is up, or take a moment to talk with me about how things are going. This is what Mount Carmel is meant to be above all else. To me, the most remarkable thing about Mount Carmel is the friendship and brotherhood of so many different students, put aside their differences, and care about the overall success of their friends. I'm confident that although most of my friends will be miles apart, the bonds we have created will never be broken. And whenever I see a classmate, we will be able to talk about the good times we had. With 192 students putting in effort to graduate from Mount Carmel, some particular moments stick out to me. Sophomore year, I'll always remember how Pat Fahey and I decided to make a trip to Nike Town to buy some new apparel. This had caused us to almost miss the train, but in the end, we were able to sprint back just in time to barely make it. One Wednesday during the football season, practically the whole entire team made it out to go eat some wings. The discussions in the labs we had were what made the time so enjoyable. The Mr. Moda's class, the fiesta parties where I was introduced to guacamole, in exchange when I introduced everyone else to homemade Oreo balls. I'm looking forward to our final fiesta party next week. Also, Mr. Moda sponsored trips to La Fonda, where we were able to hang out in a different cultural environment. The foods experience were fantastic, but being able to spend the time with some of my closest friends trying a new culture was what made it the best. All the way back in freshman year, when St. Baldrick's was a school-embraced event because upperclassmen showed their support of a worthy cause and encouraged a strong showing of underclassmen to join as well. Students rallied around one another and took pride in contributing their hair to a fundraiser to help children with cancer. When we went on the Science Industry Museum field trip with Coach E this year, and we labored all day shooting intensive videos, then somehow found ourselves with much time to hang out and share our college plans with people who sometimes were unable to talk with. Junior Pyramid Day with Coach Antonetti, when he tagged along as we picked out the next spot to go. He pretended not to know how to read the map, which gave me a better grasp of how to navigate the city. This football season, we traveled out to Nepa Valley to play a game into overtime. As we won the game, seeing a close group of my friends rush the field to join in the celebration. The journey to Stadium Day and what we learned from it. The rides home on the back of the bus with guys like Zach Griffin, John Bodner, Joe McNally, John Heaney, and Ed O'Connor. Discussing the events of the game, some of the best times we had. Being at Mount Carmel homecoming dances and prom next weekend with all of your best friends and knowing you can dance however you like without being ridiculed. 4 years of the pep rally and the historic fight night. 2 events that really bring the community of Mount Carmel together in an old-fashioned way. The pep rally, bringing the 4 grade levels together to embrace their sports team, and fight night, bringing many alumni back from all around. Last year, spending time on junior Kairos and learning about others along with myself. This was such a unique setting that allowed bonds to grow up with so many individuals. Then having the opportunity to lead junior Kairos as a senior with so many other great people, it's been a good group of juniors. Going to the Whitney Young Mount Carmel basketball freshman year, as Mount Carmel pulled off the upset, and so many other classmates rallying around them to sport. This is only a glimpse of what Mount Carmel has meant to me, but everything that sticks out to me has been experienced with my friends and teachers. Every teacher, coach, and faculty member, one way or another, has a special memory to me. To wisdom may never be possible, but to each and every one of you, I would like to thank you for what you do. Whether you know it or not, many students appreciate your efforts, and for those who do not, one day they will. If anything is taken from my speech, I would hope that you were able to see that what makes Mount Carmel special is the memories from being a part of events. Our 2010 motto for football was being all in. This is not only useful for success on the athletic field, but can be applied to any area of life. You can be all in every day of your life by taking the time to talk to someone you may not have, or trying to do something you never found the time to do. Every day when you wake up, by the end of the day, some event would happen you had never expected. There'll never be a day that's the same. You always find something fun to do. Be a part of the community. There's nothing better than the feeling of belonging and achieving a common goal. Even when times are tough, those around you have it tougher, so bond with them to overcome similar obstacles. Life is about going out and doing, not sitting by and watching. Never worry about what others have to think, and take the opportunity to do what you would like. It has been a privilege to share some of my past memories in Mount Carmel with all of you in the room. I would like to thank you for your constant attention, and I will leave you with one closing remark before I turn over to my good friend Kevin Carey. In the wise words of Coach Cameron, always shoot for the stars, because if you don't quite make it, at least you made it to the moon. Thank you, and God bless you all.